This is 4.8 day 1 right triangle trigonometry with application problems. Alright, the first problem isn't really an application problem, but it wants us to find the 3 missing pieces to this triangle. So we want to find out what is the angle B, what is side A, and side C, those lengths using trigonometry. So we give you that angle A is 34.2 degrees, side B is 19.4. And we can all assume then that C, that's our 90-degree measure, true? Isn't that right, triangle? Okay, who can tell me how do we find the measure of angle B?
Can't you do it like degree over measure of the sine?
Are you thinking like law of sines?
Yeah.
But you'd have to know then either to use law of sines, you have to do angle A, side A, angle B, side B. We don't have all four. We're going to find angle B, yes?
Would you just minus 180 from 90 and 34?
Yep, from geometry. The triangle sum theorem says that the addition of all 3 angles in a triangle will always add to 180 degrees. So we can take 180 degrees and subtract out the 2 known angles, angle C, which is 90, and angle A, which is 34.2. Then we will be left with our angle B measurement. So now with your calculators, what do you get there? 55.8. So then what I would do is just go over to your picture, label that on your diagram. Now let's find side A. And let's use right triangle trigonometry. So, ka, toa, sine, cosine, and tangent. Now you could use law of sines, which you're referring to, but we're going to get into that later on. So to find side A, we're going to work with this angle here and this other side. So it's a good idea to label the pieces opposite and adjacent, and I heard it. Choose the tangent. The tangent of any angle is opposite over adjacent. So now we substitute in the pieces that we know. We know the angle measure and side adjacent. So the tangent of 34.2 degrees, this is our angle A. Opposite is unknown, and adjacent's length is 19.4. Now we're going to solve for side A. What would we do next to solve for side A? Correct. Multiply both sides by 19.4. So 19.4 times the tangent of 34.2 degrees. Make sure your calculator is set up in degree measure, so it's in that mode. And what would be the length of side A now? 13.2. 13.2, do we agree? So now we can go back up to the picture. 13.2. So now we know side A and side B. How can we find side C? We can use Pythagorean theorem or right triangle trig again. It doesn't matter. Either way you choose from here on. Now you know 2 sides of this triangle. So do you guys have a choice? Should we use trigonometry again? So we're going to use that same angle. But now we're working with the hypotenuse and the Let's just choose adjacent again. So what trig function would that be? Cosine, good. So we're going to take the cosine. The cosine of any angle is adjacent over hypotenuse. And our angle that we're working with is angle A again, 34.2 degrees. Adjacent is 19.4, and the hypotenuse is unknown, side C. Now how do you solve for side C? I tend to multiply by C first, and then divide by the cosine of 34.2 degrees. So let's multiply both sides by C. So now we have 19.4. And then last step is to divide by cosine of 34.2 degrees. And what do we get for the length of C?
23.4.
What is it?
23.4.
23.45. Alright, so now we found all the missing pieces to that triangle. Sides and the angles. Alright, this example I pulled from the textbook. We scanned the picture and then I reconstructed it with the segments. So what we have is a fire truck down on the ground, and it has a ladder. And the ladder's angle of elevation is 72 degrees. And the length of the ladder is 110 feet. What we want to find out is how far up the building can this ladder truck go. So we're going to use right triangle trig again. So here is our angle, 72 degrees. And then this is our unknown, side A. And then, I lost my connection again. And then side C. Which trig function will we choose? Sine. Okay, let's check. This is side opposite, and this is side hypotenuse. So then we set up our equation. The sine of any angle equals opposite over hypotenuse. And then we will substitute in the pieces. So 72 degrees is our angle. Opposite is our unknown, and the hypotenuse is 110. How do you solve that for A? Multiply both sides by 110, correct. So then A equals 104.6 feet is the height that ladder will go up along the building.